with that being said, let's go to the next topic, and this time is going to be a review topic. And I thought, what best way to start this experiment with, of course, doing our review, share our thoughts about Spider-Man: Brand New Day. Okay, for anyone who's been living under a rock or in a very deep cave, basically, Spider-Man: Brand New Day officially crossed $2 billion in the worldwide box office. Congratulations, congratulations! I mean, like an MCU movie didn't do a 2 billion crossing. I mean, like I think like for a very long time. I think like ever since Avengers Endgame. Honestly, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I feel like the Avengers Endgame was the last time that they did a 2 billion crossing. But overall, the 2 billion really well earned because I'm gonna say it right off the bat. Uh, the movie's awesome. This has to be the best MCU Spider-Man movie they ever did, but also the second best Spider-Man movie ever done. It's like very near to my number one, Spider-Man 2 of Sam Raimi. I was totally blown away with this movie. Like, and thankfully they gave us exactly what I was hoping for. A ground a grounded street level story about our friendly neighborhood Spider-Man solving mysteries, fighting villains, and that's exactly what this movie gave me. But basically, for everyone who hasn't seen the movie yet, I mean, seriously, what the hell are you thinking? Um, Basically, the overall premise of the movie is this: it's been like I think 4 years since No Way Home, and you have Peter Parker, basically having a double life, living as this lonely Peter Parker across the city, alongside being a vigilante known as Spider-Man, fighting bad guys all over the place. And basically, all of a sudden, there's this telepathic threat that we all know have been theorized ever since it was first announced, basically making a mess in Spider-Man City, which also made him basically to cross path with two other famous superheroes, the Hulk and the Punisher. That's kind of like the overall premise. So before I go to the details, I want to ask you, what was your first impression when you saw the movie?
Um, my first impression, holy shit. I mean, I really liked it. It was really good. Um, I actually thought it was as good as No Way Home, maybe a little bit better. Um,
Nice.
which I was kind of impressed by. I did not think it would ever be able to match No Way Home, but it kind of, in its own way, did. Um, yeah, I mean, I just liked it overall.
Oh, that's good. That is really good. Yeah, I mean, look, I mean, Spider-Man Homecoming and Spider-Man Far From Home, they are great Spider-Man movies. Spider-Man No Way Home was fantastic, but I have to say Spider-Man Brand New Day blows everyone up. Every single MCU movie, it blows them up because it was phenomenal. I mean, what the director, I'm forgetting his name, the director behind Shang-Chi, I mean, what he did
Oh,
with this movie.
Daniel Dustin Cretton, I think. Cretton
Basically, you're close.
or Dustin
Uh,
Daniels, something like that.
Yeah, but basically, what he did with this movie, it was fantastic. I mean, like the overall character arc of Peter Parker, because literally, this movie is not just a Spider-Man movie, but it's also a Peter Parker movie because you have character arcs from both sides, and the way
Yeah.
how it was delivered and built it was phenomenal. It was
Well, and they
absolute.
also, I thought they matured Peter Parker and Spider Man
Oh,
in the
absolutely.
movie. They matured him enough that like it wasn't like a drastic jump from like high school to like adulthood, but they matured him enough that like it made sense and like it was kind of cool to see that. And I think even Tom Holland used a little bit of a deeper register in his voice. I picked up on, um, which I think was also very smart. And I also noticed like his hair, like he didn't have a slick back like he did in previous movies, um, which I also kind of like that little detail. Um, It also seems like Tom Holland didn't spoil anything from this, so that's good too.
Yeah, not only that's good, that's like a bloody miracle.
Now you have Doomsday and Secret Wars coming out, so there's still a lot of time for Tom Holland to spoil things.
Oh no, I think like he learned his lesson from the previous incident. I think like he learned his lessons.
Well, Feige probably has him followed by. Hang on one sec.
Yeah, sure, no problem. And here we go with awkward silence again.
Okay.
Who was it? Damage control. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So where were we?
He was trying to say. The last thing I said was that I think Tom Holland learned his lessons from his past mistake, and then you mentioned something Feige, and then basically you were watching your phone.
Yeah, Feige is yeah. Yeah, Feige
Every Spider-Man fan is welcome, Caroline. Don't worry about it.
Feige probably has Tom Holland followed around with like an armed guard or something, I bet. And like the armed guard, and like whatever he's doing interviews, the guards. I just picture the guards sitting off to the side, like one wrong move, one wrong move.
One wrong move, and then basically have the meme with Kevin Feige with the gun.
Yeah, yeah, but no. Honestly, I like the movie. I do think we need to. Are we doing spoilers in this or no?
Oh yes, we do. I mean, it's been quite a while since it's been released, so.
Well, then I'm gonna get a jump on and ask you the question. I'm sure you're gonna ask me.
Go ahead.
What does Ned remember?
Honestly, my first thought was, because MJ said in front of him the name Peter, that maybe he had put like two and two together, that Peter might be Spider-Man. Basically, that's what I think. I mean, honestly, again, the last time you and I talked about, we kind of like had this conversation like before about like if did he actually remembered or not. Honestly, I don't think he did. I think like the surprise was, I think, because he put two and two together when MJ said Peter, and then he started to realize that this Peter might be Spider-Man.
See, I'm not sure because I mean, definitely how they did the handshake, that was definitely muscle memory. I don't know if that, I'm not scientific like by any means, so I don't know if like muscle memory somehow translates then to like the regular memory and like jogs anything. I'm not entirely sure. But I'm a little bit torn on whether he remembers. It is interesting if you caught the last we saw of MJ in the movie, she was sitting up on the roof, which was like Peter's like spot with the necklace, which makes me think that something happened in her head. A lot of people are saying when Jean froze everybody, that somehow like broke the spell for them. I don't know whether that. I mean, that's an interesting thought. I don't know whether there's anything valid to that. I mean, I kind of feel like to some degree the spell has to be altered a little bit for Doomsday and Secret Wars. like for Spider-Man to factor into those, I kind of feel like, and for like the multiverse, like to for what's going to happen, I think the spell has to break somewhat.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I mean, I'm torn. Um, I mean, I think it was. I think that was the perfect cliffhanger to end the movie on. And that's another thing. All the Spider-Man movies, maybe not No Way Home. I don't think they did No Way Home. Well, I guess they did. All the Spider-Man movies, at least with Tom Holland, they all end on like a little like cliffhanger. Um, and like I don't know, I kind of like that. I'm annoyed by it because I don't like waiting, but I don't know, I kind of like it.
Honestly, you and I talked about this. I personally, I don't think MJ and Peter are ever gonna get back together. I don't think they will. I think like there's a reason why Daniel and the crew. There's a reason why they went for this movie to kind of have like like a bittersweet ending, basically. Like basically, yes, like the she's gonna be friends with him and everything, just like Ned is gonna be, but I don't think things will go back to the way they were in the original trilogy. I don't think it's not going to go that path. I think like because that's why I believe in the future of Spider-Man. I think that's why this leaves an open door to give Peter Parker another love interest. And this time like like an actual like for real. This time, which is one of the reasons why I brought into the story characters like, for example, Silver Sable or Black Cat. I think that this would be like the perfect timing for them to be introduced.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Well, I kind of feel like I mean, I don't know if Peter and MJ will get back together, but I kind of feel like if they did, I kind of feel like it'd be more like Endgame stuff. So like,
mm,
I definitely don't think it should be something that happens like in a single movie.
fair enough. Fair enough. I want to ask you this. Uh, First and foremost, straight off the bat, did you knew from the start that it's going to be Jean Grey?
Yeah, they did it. I don't get why I don't get
Well,
what the deal with keeping that role secret was.
it,
Honestly, I mean,
that for
everybody
me.
guessed it. Um,
First and foremost, okay, let's go back a few years. First and foremost, ever since people saw her in Stranger Things, they started to fan cast Jean Grey from like way back then. When they realized that Sadie Sink was actually cast into like a mysterious role in Spider-Man Brand New, they all knew, especially with the clues and everything, they all knew
well, there was no way it wasn't.
that
There was
she's
no
gonna be
way.
Jean Grey.
There was no way it was going to be any. I mean, the only other person it could have feasibly been being a redhead was Mary Jane. Was actually like
Mm,
bring in Mary Jane. So I mean, it was always going to be one of those two, and it didn't make sense to me that they would have an MJ and then introduce another MJ. So
which,
I
well,
never
yeah,
really, so I never really bought into that theory. So I mean, I always kind of bought into the Jean Grey theory. Um, and I just don't get why they I don't get why they like were so secretive with it.
mm,
I mean, I don't think it
yeah.
really surprised anyone. What really surprised everyone was that scene where she's controlling MJ and MJ kisses him, and that's what seemed to surprise everybody, at least in the theater I was in. Although it didn't really surprise me because I
I,
thought to myself, this is way too easy.
exactly, because it's exactly what I thought. Because even I thought like, okay, wait a minute. So all of a sudden she's remembering, and then she kissed him. I'm like,
Yeah,
come
like
on, it's going too easy.
everybody was clapping and cheering. I was like,
Nah,
do you really think the MCU, if they're gonna put them back together, would make it happen this easily?
exactly. But and then basically you get the reveal that it was Jean Grey all along. And
Yeah,
I will say this, the way how she played with Spider-Man's feelings, I was like, oh, okay, like that's really low.
yeah,
Uh, yeah, I mean, I mean, I remember sometimes Jean Grey did had in the comics, she did had like a tantrum sometimes, but I think she never ever went that low.
But this
Honestly.
it's gonna be interesting though to watch her like in future X-Men films
Mm-hmm.
and watch her paired with Scott Summers and kind of watch them grow and like
Mm-hmm.
become like the X-Men we know like from other films like that like to become the leaders, the Phoenix and like all that stuff. It's gonna be interesting. Um I mean, I'll be honest, I after Secret Wars I was gonna kind of step away from the MCU, but I might have to watch the
Same.
X-Men. I might have to watch the X-Men. That one I
Mm-hmm.
might have to make an exception for because I think going with a cast of younger people kind of makes it a little bit more interesting to me.
Here's what I was saying. I mean, you and I had this conversation way before. Even I said that after Secret Wars, I'm done with the MCU. Like I'm officially retiring as a viewer. Like because ever since then I watched everything, and I mean everything. But after Secret Wars, I'm gonna retire. Like I have really had enough of the MCU. The only thing that I will watch is at least something that kind of keeps me interesting, which I would say so far the only two projects that actually kind of kept me interested was Ryan Gosling's Ghost Rider
Yes.
and the X-Men. That's
But
the only
yeah,
two projects that really kept me interesting. I mean,
the,
Black Panther, sure. I mean, it's cool and everything, but honestly, those two really picked up my interest.
yeah, those two kind of are what have me. Black
Hmm.
Panther, the thing I would take issue with that is that they're making a new T'Challa, which is T'Challa's son. I still kind of disagree with killing off T'Challa and not recasting him, but
Again, it's the whole thing honoring the legacy of the actor, and he immortalized the role, etc., etc. Like it's all that. For which, for me personally, it's a stupid excuse, but okay,
but
whatever.
but no, I'm the seeing Sadie Sink though, and going back to Spider-Man, seeing Sadie
Hmm.
Sink as Jean Grey in Spider-Man, it kind of gets me excited for what else they're gonna do with her.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, Sadie Sink, first and foremost, I will say her performance as Jean Grey was stunning. Like
Yeah.
she was really good in that role. But here's the question I have for you: what did you thought of her as the villain?
It was interesting. I mean, I kind of had a feeling that she wasn't the real villain. I kind of had a feeling Damage Control was.
Oh,
Uh,
absolutely,
I mean,
absolutely.
I don't know. I kind of had a feeling that was gonna happen, but she was I mean, she played the role well. Um, I don't even know if I'd call her a villain. I would call her more of an antagonist or anti-hero.
I would say I would call her basically. I think I would call her more like a situational villain.
Yes. Now I will tell you one thing I didn't like about Spider-Man is how they completely nerfed the Hulk.
Honestly, even I was surprised that he wasn't that much in it. But honestly, it kind of makes sense.
Well,
Honestly, why he was only in one scene. It
well, I think
only.
I think it was partially in it to sell merchandise.
Mm, Here's the thing. I think like the Daniel and the crew. I think like they knew exactly what they were doing, and I think like I said, every single character in the story have a role to play, and I think the Hulk's role was literally try to go inside the damage control through Jean Grey. I think like that was the whole point of the Hulk, and basically Bruce Banner unleashing the Savage Hulk back into to the open world. I think like that was the whole point of it and everything. So again, even I was shocked that he was only in one scene, but honestly, in a way, after a long time of thinking, it makes sense. It really actually, for me personally, makes sense. And I will say this: the overall scene between Spider-Man and the Hulk was perfection. It was absolutely mesmerizing. It really reminded me back of the old comics where you had like Spider-Man versus the Hulk. Like it kind of remind me of that. It was wonderful. But I will say this: I was really surprised of how much the Punisher was in.
Yeah, he was in it a lot more than I thought he'd be in it.
And first of all, let's just be honest. it's really great to see the Punisher on the big screen.
Yes.
He was great, and I love the whole buddy cop relationship that he and Peter Parker have. Like it's and honestly, they're perfect for each other.
Yeah,
Perfect.
that was a cool move. He was a cool character. I wasn't sure how well he was gonna fit in at first. Um,
Hmm.
but he fit in quite well.
Yeah, I totally agree. I totally agree. But I will say this. Um, First and foremost, I just want to say, I just have to say, it was so great to see a number of like Spider-Man's like rogues gallery in this movie. Like I mean, we had Boomerang, Tarantula, Tombstone, the Hand, the what was that the android's name? I always keep forgetting his name, but like like him, and of course Scorpion. We also had him in this movie, so I felt like seeing all these villains, it was really really great. Although, if I have to be nitpicky, honestly, and that's because I really loved that actor, uh, I was kind of bummed that Tombstone only appeared briefly in one
Yeah.
scene. Because honestly, I thought that first and foremost, the actor who played him, he was perfect for the role, and also Tombstone finally looked like comic accurate with the hair and everything. He was great. And honestly, I was also kind of surprised how much of a smaller role Scorpion had.
Yeah. I don't I agree with that.
But still, the way how they set him up, not just simply the way, not just simply they were used only to kind of like show us where Spider-Man slash Peter Parker is like when it comes to his life, but also I still appreciate the way how they set him up, to introduce us to Jean Grey, in a way,
Yeah.
like still the way how they used them, it was a smart move. I'm just only nitpicking because I'm a big fan of the Spider-Man villains, so that's kind of like my kind of nitpick complaint, because don't get me wrong, Jean Grey was great as, again, quote unquote, the villain.
Hmm.
The damage control, was the damage control, typical assholes like they always were. Um, but honestly, and again, some people say it wouldn't make any sense, but I would have much prefer if the villains were like Scorpion or Tombstone. I think one of them. I would have much preferred if one of them were the main villains.
Yeah, I had to think about that, but hmm, you have to think about that. But I don't know if I disagree with that.
I mean, again, like I said, I'm only saying this as a Spider-Man Rogues Gallery fan. I'm only saying this because of that. That's all. But I will say this. Speaking of the Hand, I will say this: the choreography of the action sequences was beautiful,
Yes.
absolutely beautiful.
Well,
And
especially that last fight scene.
oh yes, oh yes, in the damage control prison, yeah, against the Hand, like it was beautiful, really, really beautifully done, really beautiful. And I will say this: I love the way how they also introduced that storyline of how the genes of Spider-Man were mutating.
Yes, that was really cool. I like that. I feel like they could have put a more definite bow on it at the end, but I kind of like that. Um,
But honestly, the way how the movie went, I think like adding also Man Spider, which is basically the monster mutated version of Spider-Man from the comics, with the whole mutation storyline. I think that would have been too much, and honestly,
yeah,
it wouldn't fit into the story of Brand New Day.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm kind of glad,
I don't disagree with that.
yeah, I'm thinking like personally, I think they gave us like exactly the right amount to kind of like understand where all this is going. So I still appreciate they kind of explore a little bit of that storyline. And also here's okay. I mentioned to you before, but I remember like when Tom Holland and all the others have said that the real main villain before the movie was shown. They said that the real main villain wasn't revealed yet. That it's still a mystery. who's the main villain. I already told you that, but do you know which two villains I thought they're gonna be?
Hmm.
Especially with the addition of Jean Grey. Do you
Hmm.
remember?
Oh,
Okay,
yeah, no.
I don't worry. I'll just say it again. So because of the damage control and the overall the slightness of Spider-Man and everything, first I thought it might be the Kingpin,
See,
but
he'd be a
then
good choice.
yes, but then remembering Daredevil Born Again season two finale, and also not to mention that small shot of the new mayor of the city, I was like, no, it's not gonna be him. But then I thought about another villain, which kind of brings me to Jean Grey, Mister Sinister.
Okay.
I think he would have been. I mean, he's typically an X Men villain, but I think like again, with introducing the X Men through Jean Grey and everything, I think Mister Sinister would have been a nice introduction as well.
Well, you know what's going to be interesting? I just realized that you mentioning that. I just thought about Peter's gene, the machine he used to do the gene thing. How much do you want to bet that some character named Stryker finds it?
Oh, whew. Again, I'm not a gambling guy, but I would have bet uh, a bit of a sum that Stryker might find it.
You know what? Two actors I could almost see casting a Stryker in the MCU:
Who?
William Devane or oh, his name isn't coming to me. Martin Sheen.
Martin Sheen. Like, isn't he a bit too old to play him?
Well, I don't know. I mean, William Devane would probably be the better age.
Hmm. I don't know. I mean, they're good choices, but I think Martin Sheen. I think he might be too old to play that role. Uh, but they're good choices, absolutely. But again, I don't think that we're gonna go with the striker thing with the new X Men. I think I definitely think we're gonna get introduced to new elements that we haven't already seen before.
Well, I wonder if they would make Stryker like a Thanos kind of person for the X-Men.
Yeah. But anyway, basically, also so before we go to the rating, overall, like I mean, there's a lot I can talk about this movie, but overall, I also want to mention the emotional elements that this movie
Yeah,
had. I mean, I didn't cry, but there were some moments that really got me like inside. Like for
yeah,
example, the whole Jean Grey, with her older sister and everything. Like the like that was actually, pretty powerful, very powerful moment. But also the one thing that really got me again, didn't cry, but it really got me was when Jean Grey went inside Spider-Man's mind, and you have Aunt May talking to Jean Grey, which is
yes,
basically Spider-Man talking. I mean, and then those two bonding and everything that was like so powerful, so
yeah.
powerful.
This movie, it really, like I said, I was kind of surprised because seeing how good No Way Home was, I didn't think anything could match that or like be better than it. And I'm kind of surprised this actually does.
Even I was surprised, but in the end, like I said, it gave me exactly what I was wanting for a long, long time. I mean, no offense to the armored Spider-Man and everything, the whole multiverse storylines and everything. That was cool, but this movie proved that that's where Spider-Man belongs,
Yes.
into a grounded, street level, friendly neighborhood Spider-Man storyline, and that's exactly what this movie gave me. And I really hope that first and foremost they get the same director, but at the same time they keep Spider-Man stories on the street.
Yeah.
Yeah. So overall, this movie for me was phenomenal. Like I said, very close to Spider-Man 2 from Tobey Maguire and Sam Raimi. Very close, but it's still in the second place. For me personally, is way better than No Way Home, and even I wouldn't go as far as say, even way better than the Spider-Verse movies.
Yeah.
That's what I think. Mm. So my overall rating again, almost everything about this movie was perfect for me. So my rating is going to be very, very high. The only reason why I'm not giving a full 10 out of 10 is only because of my few nitpicky elements of me basically being a Spider-Man geek. Um, so my rating is going to be a 9.5 out of 10.
Okay, that's a
Like
good
I said,
rating.
almost a 10. This movie was almost perfect. So what is yours?
I'm gonna give it a 20 out of 20.
Come on, play fair. 1 to 10.
Okay, I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10.
Nice.
Because
Nice.
there's
Nice.
not a
I mean,
whole
like I
lot.
said,
There's not a whole lot I would change about it. Um, there's not a whole lot I would do different about with it. Um,
now focus and tell your thoughts.
okay. Yeah, the only thing I would do differently about it is some of the creative decisions. Um, yeah, the movie itself I thought was good, so I'd give it a 10 out of 10.
Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. So it's a 9.5 out of 10 for me and 10 out of 10 for you.